from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, role players everywhere. All the world may be a stage, or it may be a game, or it might be like you see. All the world may be hard for me to wrap up in one thing, with one truism about the world being a stage or a game. We all play our roles. Even the role maker plays a role as the role maker. And the person whose role is calling roll, like roll call. Because it's time for me to make a roll call for anybody that wants to be put asleep by some nonsense. Because it's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots here, and usually this would be part of the whole, but this is like something I support, and I'm coming in here because I really want to encourage you to support the Asian members of our community. And one thing I support, and you could support, is to go to napawf.org right now. And that's the National Asian Pacific American Women's Forum. It's the only organization focused on building power with AAPI women and girls to influence critical decisions that affect our lives, our families, and our communities. And as a father of an AAPI woman, this is really important to me. But as a member of this community and my broader community and my local community, it's important to me too. So if you go to napawf.org, you can take action right now in a few different ways. You can donate, you can sign their petition, and you can learn more. So I want to empower you right now to take action to support the AAPI members of our community. Thanks, everybody. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots, and I know the majority of our listeners are happy to listen to a free ad-supported version of the show, and they know our sponsors help keep the show free and not behind a paywall, but I have heard from people that say, hey, I want an ad-free option, and I still feel like Patreon is the best option. It's the best value. You can listen in most every podcast app to the bonus content. $5 up patrons get story-only episodes and ad-free episodes every week. If you become an annual patron, you save, you get a month free. $10 up patrons get all intro episodes, all night episodes, and $20 patrons are now getting special access to Ray episodes. So at all our levels, it really offers an amazing value. But people said, yeah, I want other ways to get the ad-free content. I know a lot of work goes into the show. So great news. I'm going to put the shows up on Bandcamp for sale. I don't feel like that's a great value, but some people have asked me about it. And then if you join our referral program starting in April, or if you've been a part of the referral program and you really join the referral program wholeheartedly and participate in it, there will be a chance to earn access to an ad-free feed of the show and beyond. And there are people that are really doing amazing with that referral program. You can do that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. But again, being a patron is the best way to be a rebel with a cause. You see, well, I love paying for a free podcast, so it's free for everybody. And I know it's not free for Scoots. I know a lot of work goes into the show. That's a rebel with a cause. If you become an annual rebel with a cause, you save, you get a month free. That's at sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. So you could do that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. I know a lot of you just enjoy hearing about the sponsors and supporting the show that way. Those of you that are looking for a way to do it for free, just by putting out some effort, you could find out more at sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. So sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron or sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, BetterHelp. You know, if you're having trouble meeting your goals right now, difficulty relationships, trouble sleeping, or if you're feeling stressed or depressed, BetterHelp is available. BetterHelp offers online professional counselors who can listen and help. And I've talked about this a lot on the podcast, is that I've had a lot of struggles throughout my lifetime with mental health and with self-medication and stuff. And working with professional licensed therapists has given me the tools to function and flourish in my life. And that's one of the things I'm so grateful for is the relationship I have with my therapist, someone I can talk to who can listen and help me. And with BetterHelp, you simply fill out a questionnaire to assess your needs, and BetterHelp will match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. And this isn't self-help or a crisis line. This is secure online professional counseling. BetterHelp counselors have a broad range of expertise which may not be available in your area. Their service is available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send unlimited messages to your counselor. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions, and everything you share is confidential. You don't have to worry about going to the office or sitting in a waiting room. And BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so it's easy and free to change counselors if needed, so you can find someone you're comfortable talking to and working with. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. And this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Sleep With Me listeners can get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/sleepwithme. So visit BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/sleepwithme, and you can join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced BetterHelp professional. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about our new sponsor, Ecobee. Now, who isn't looking for ways to make life at home a little bit better? Well, say hello to Ecobee. Ecobee makes smart home devices like motion and temperature sensors, thermostats, and a camera that all connect with each other and to you through the Ecobee app. And I got my camera set up. I'm setting up some of the sensors. It works so well. It's giving me some peace of mind. And every home is different. Every family is different. So Ecobee adapts to you. It learns from you. It works around you without you needing to do any work. And here's an example. Like I said, I'm setting up this Ecobee home security solution with a smart camera and sensors that detect motion and activity. And then when you connect everything together into your phone with Haven, their monitoring service, you'll enhance the functionality of all your devices. You'll know when doors and windows are open. You'll get alerts when family members get home. And in fact, Ecobee's system is so intelligent, it knows who's coming and going and automatically turns the alarm on and off. No keypads, no countdowns, or false alarms. That sounds pretty smart to me. And then you combine that with a smart thermostat, which learns which rooms you use most and when. And you've got a complete home solution that gives you more peace of mind, more comfort, and it saves you money, which is good for everyone. It's a hands-off, smart home monitoring solution to give you eyes and ears when you're away, and more comfort and security when you're home. Ecobee makes everyday life better by giving you more control over things at home without having to control every little thing. Imagine what your home could be at ecobee.com. All right, everybody, it's Scooter here. It's time for the Sleepy Supporter Zone, and when I'm recording this, it's the end of March. And I just wanted to thank everybody that went through our first round of referrals. And, now in April, we got our referral program still going strong. You can sign up at sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. And I wanted to thank Cornelia, Miroslava, Betta, Taylor, Naomi, Amari, Amand, Megan, Kelly, Justin, Sully, Brandy, Tej, and Aaron, who got multiple new listeners, somewhere between 4 and 70 new listeners for the show. That's right, up to 70 listeners just from one person sharing about the podcast and their natural experience. Huge way to help the show, a huge free way to help the show. You could sign up at sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer, and I couldn't do it without all you. Again, thank you so much. That's the first part of the supporter zone. Second part is you getting the support you need. You could do that in our show notes if you're having a tough time right now, and it's about supporting the members of our community. It's about saying Black Lives Matter. It's with our actions. You could do that. You could connect with organizations in our show notes. And speaking of our show notes, you could sign up to support NAPAWF. That's National Asian Pacific American Women's Forum. You could support them. You can learn more, which is a great place to get started, or you could sign up to take more action. And that's where it really all starts is learn more and then saying, hey, where, how can I be a part of a positive change? Those links will be in the show notes as well. But you can get there at napawf.org. And that is the end of the Sleepy Supporter Zone. Mr. Bard, a lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Posterson sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes too. Carl W. the Legend also edits episodes. Kenny, Scotty, and Jennifer. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the mystery bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. We're raising money for the Water Wheel Foundation, and Scooter might get a perm.
Thanks, Mr. Bard. I'm at Dear Scooter on Twitter and Instagram. That's where you could find me. And what do you say we slow it down and get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble, getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever is keeping you awake, whether it's thoughts, things on your mind that you're thinking about, feelings, so anything emotionally coming up for you, or that's there, or that appears. You say, hey, that happens to me a lot. You say, where'd you come from? Oh yeah, we've joked about that before, like sliding into DMs. My feelings just slide right into bed with me. I say, well, I thought I tucked you away. That's what my cover... Here's an idea. Free idea for any companies out there. I think only someplace like Stark Corp or whatever could come up with this. But, I started using a weighted comforter in December, January of the 2 years that were connected to one another. But here's one. What if you had a comforter lined with something? I guess you wouldn't want to keep out feelings. You'd say, well, you could. You could say, all those feelings. Hey, Joy, can you get in here with me? And, Serenity, can you pop right in here? Oh, boy, let's get cozy. And I guess this shows that I'm not fully well adjusted. Because, there is space to say, hey, come on in, Anger. Don't worry, Grouch. Are you an actual feeling? Maybe I could get in bed with Oscar the Grouch and say, can you leave I don't want to know what's, I guess, are you like some sort of, are you like a hermit crab or something? Like below, whatever's below the garbage can? No, because I've seen your feet before. In that famous film, that one Sesame Street, the one Sesame Street movie I wrote that was never released, Oscar Goes for a Walk. It was not a classic film. Oscar's Long Walk. It was just a movie about Oscar walking. Because that part I saw in some movie. I think that's called, was that Big Bird's movie? Big Bird's Walking? Big Bird Walks Around Town? I don't know. Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to be making a sleep podcast. So if it's feelings keeping you up, it could be physical sensations, changes in time or temperature, or someone trying to invent something, then going on a tangent about Oscar the Grouch, then realizing they needed to get back to their original tangent and hoping they remember to. But whatever's keeping me awake, I'd like to take your mind off of that. What I'm going to do is I have a safe place here. I'm going to smooth it. I'm going to pat it. I'm going to rub it down. While for a second I thought we would have feelings-proof blankets, I realized that's one of my tendencies. And then I said, well, maybe we don't want feeling. Maybe we want a permeable, feeling permeable layer. But, I guess I guess I mistakenly dreamed of, this is where you see the podcast, even in the intros, can actually have some growth. I say, well, and I realize, I'm talking to myself too. Say, Scoots, I realize you want a comforter. Kind of like the whole idea of the weighted comforter is like the thing they give you when you're getting your teeth, looked at with the teeth camera. And I know you'd want one that would be like, we say, can you line that with something that keeps out my feelings? But we know that all your feelings need to be called in and hugged. That's really the secret, which it is. But in this case, you don't have to do that. That's the purpose Sleep With Me does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my voice across the deep, dark night. I'm going to use lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, pointless meanders, superfluous tangents. I'm going to go off topic, all to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff while you fall asleep. Now, if you're new or if you're a regular listener, man, how much Oscar the Grouch fiction? I don't think I've ever gotten in bed with Oscar the Grouch on an intro before. But now, we've achieved that finally. The grouchy part of me. But, if you're new, this podcast is very different. So I just wanted to tell you that right up front. It doesn't necessarily work for everybody, especially right away. So here's a couple of things to know. One, it's okay not to like the show, or it might not work, or it's okay to be doubtful or skeptical. That's a really normal way to arrive at this podcast. So I don't want to really put your feelings at ease, but much like I was trying to do with myself, like if you're having those feelings or you're not sure, just give this show a few tries and see how it goes. You don't even have to be open-minded. You could just be barely curious. You say, well, I don't know about this podcast and your creaky dulcet tones. And they say, yeah, that's fine. You don't have to be open-minded about it. You could just be, but I'm curious that you're really never going to get to the point. And I say, well, I get to more of the nubs. I don't get to any points. But I get to those nubs because I have a nub on the back of my head. The famous nub, that's where the podcast magic comes from. Really, I do. Some people do have a nub. Some would call it a nubbin, but I call it a nub. If I wore a baseball cap a lot, it would keep it on there because it would be right where the plastic part of the baseball cap would go right under my nub. It's vestigial. I wish I don't know what would be there because you'd say, well, I really wouldn't want anything vestigially on the back of my head. But, because I said, well, what would vestigially be back there? Someone would say some extra brain cells. I said, well, maybe there was. That was where they connected the interesting, my ability to hold court. I had that. It was vestigial, so it's not there anymore. Okay, so this podcast is very different. A couple other things, this is a podcast you don't really listen to. You may have figured that out already. You just kind of barely pay attention. It works best if you just listen, almost like you're listening to rain or fuzz or wind. You say, okay, well, it's not exactly, I'm slightly more interesting than the wind or rain. Unless you're some sort of rain, unless you're a meteorologist. And then, even then I say that you probably want some time off. You say, yeah, meteorology is who I am. That's who I am during the day. During the night, I'm a fan of meteors. Believe it or not, I'm into a different kind of meteorology with actual meteors. And I'd say, well, you hopefully one day you have a meteoric rise to a meteor fame when you discover. I don't know, is that possible? Well, no, my dream is riding a meteor across the sky. I know it's not realistic, but, I do dream of that. Oh, that's interesting. I got to get to this. I got to get back to the sleep podcast. Otherwise, I have a lot of how come they? I guess I could look it up, but yeah, is it strange that is it spelled like a meteorologist? It sounds like meteor. I mean, so would you be an amateur meteorologist? You're a professional meteorologist during the day, but I'm sure the study of meteors is called something else. You say, well, I'm a quasitometrist. Really? Is that someone who works with eyeglasses in the eighth dimension? No, I study meteors. Meteorology was already taken by weather people. I say, really? What was that called? A quasitometologist? Because I got something I could. You sure you could? You know, is there anybody who's an expert at helping me see in more than three dimensions? Hello? Okay. So this is a podcast you don't really listen to. It's also a podcast that doesn't really put you to sleep. I'm here to keep you company while you fall asleep, not to actually put you to sleep. I'm here to take your mind off of stuff, to keep you company, to be your boyfriend, your boy-bae, your boy-cuz, your boy-sib, your boy-bestie, your boy-bruh. That's my job, and that's why the shows are over an hour, is so you have plenty of time. So you don't look at the episode and be like, how am I going to fall asleep in 20 minutes? Or what am I going to do then? You say, well, at least Scoots will be here to keep me company, whether I'm awake or asleep. So if you can't sleep, if you're going through something, or you can't sleep on a regular basis, or you need something to wake up, or you just need something to keep you company while you're getting ready for bed as part of your wind down, that's what I'm here for. I'm not really here to put you to sleep. I'm here to take your mind off stuff, and then you fall asleep whenever. So that's different. Podcast you don't listen to, podcast that doesn't put you to sleep, even though it's a sleep podcast. The other thing that can throw new people off is the structure of the show. Show's just structured kind of very deliberately, but it's flexible. That's the beauty of podcasts and podcast apps. You can listen, you don't have to listen to them in any order. You could set a sleep timer. You could start it when you want it. You can move it around. You can smooth it. You can pat it. You can rub it down. You can say podcast in a podcast app. So structure show starts off with a greeting. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and role players everywhere. So hopefully you feel seen and welcome, or that you know that's what I'm trying to achieve. Sometimes unsuccessfully, but that's the goal I strive for. Then there's business and listener support, and that's one of the ways we're able to be here for you for free twice a week. Then there's an intro. The intro goes from minute 6 or minute 8-ish to minute 20 or so, and it feels like I go on and on and on for some people, but really it's the idea of the intro is to introduce new people to the show, but also for everybody, new listeners and regular listeners, to give you some wind down, some distance from the day, and to ease you into bedtime. And so if you're new, this kind of say, okay, when's this show get started? I say, well, it's kind of always started. It never starts at all. And you say, is that like a cone? And I'd say, I don't know. You mean with a cone with a Kaoan or whatever? I'm not sure. That's a good question. Did you hear earlier when that person was a fan, they were a meteorologist during the day and a meteor fan at night? That's like the cool, I mean, I wish that person would have stuck around. Oh, they're a figment of my imagination. Wow. I have figments of my imagination that are more interesting than me. That's weird. Somebody put that on needlepoint, because it's like, it's true. Holy moly. I don't know if I should feel great about that or I should take a breather. But we say, what's the name? What would you title your 500th autobiography? The story of your life. Figment. Well, I guess I would put that in parentheses. My story. I've got figments of my imagination are more interesting than me. And actually, that one's fascinating. You say, what time of day, tell me about your life as a meteorologist, and then tell me about your life as a meteor fan. And are there any I'm sure there's a band called the Meteors. I wonder if you're into them. So anyway, so structure. So we're still in the structure. So the intro goes on and on and on. So some listeners skip it. 3% of listeners currently. A few thousand people listen to story-only episodes on Patreon. But most people either listen as they're getting ready for bed or as they're unwinding. And then some people are falling asleep during the intro. So kind of see what works for you as you become a regular listener. And you can always adjust. There's always online conversations going on. And more people are just listening as part of the unwinding process or the winding down process and as part of their bedtime routine doing other stuff versus like just strictly falling asleep to the show. But there's no wrong way to use a podcast. If you fall asleep in 30 seconds, that's great. If you wake up in the middle of the night and listen, that's great. Some people listen all night. So just kind of see how it goes. So that's the intro. Then there's business between the intro and the story, again, to keep the podcast free. And then there's the story. Tonight it'll be our episodically modular series, Journey into the World of Tomorrow, where friends play a role-playing game. And then there's thank yous at the end. So it's a structure show. The reason I make the show is twofold. One, I've been there, tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep. And I know how it feels out there in the deep, dark night. And I know what it can be like to dread bedtime and for it to be something that's doesn't feel good. And if I can keep you comforted or give you some solace or be a friend in the deep, dark night, that gives me big purpose because I know what it's like there. While I might not know exactly what you're going through, I have a general idea of what it feels like. And that's one part of it. The other part of it is you do deserve a good night's sleep. You do deserve a port in the storm, a place of respite, something you could feel good about and wind down to. And if you get the sleep that you need and you are more well-rested, your world's going to be a better place, and that means my world's going to be a better place, and that's important to me. And it's important for me to say that over and over again, every single episode. You deserve a good night's sleep. You really do. And I know it's not easy, and I know it doesn't always feel good when you can't get it, and you can't get it all the time, I know. And it doesn't feel fair to any of us that struggle with sleep. But I hope I can provide it. Now, the thing is that this definitely show does not work for everybody. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Some people, it's just, this is a very different show. So it just works for the people that it works for, but give it a few tries. There's also sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you with a list of other sleep podcasts and sleepy stuff that you could check out. But I really hope I can provide something and help you get the rest you need and deserve. That's why I'm here. I really appreciate you coming by. I work really hard on this show. I yearn and I strive. I really want to help you fall asleep. And here's a couple of ways I'm able to be here for you twice a week. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about partially to talk about my new sofa, but to start talking about your new sofa, because you deserve one. And what if you had a sofa that came from the same company that makes the amazing Helix mattress that I sleep on every single night? Because you've heard me talking about that thing. It's like sleeping on a dream. Well, Helix has left the bedroom, and they started making sofas, and they launched this new company called Allform. And the sofas are absolutely amazing. They're customizable. They're modular. I just bought some new pillows and an extra seat for my sofa to just expand it by a little bit. Allform is the easiest way you can customize a sofa using premium materials and at the fraction of a cost of traditional stores. You pick your fabrics, and great news for me, Scoots, it's a spill, stain, and scratch resistant. But I got to pick the color of my sofa. I got a nice gray. I got some espresso colored legs, and I got to pick a shape that fits my needs needs now. And like I said, later on, you can add on. So as you move or you move things around, you say, well, I'd like to rearrange my sofa. I'd like to add a chair or an ottoman or a chase lounge. I mean, they have armchairs and love seats if you're just getting started, all the way up to an 8-seat sectional. So there's something for everyone. You know what? They make it easy for you. All form sofas are delivered directly to your home with fast, free shipping. You know, in the past, it was a big rigmarole. You had to find a delivery company. You had to go to a bunch of stores, pick something out, deal with a salesperson. You had to have somebody come and assemble it. All form takes 3 to 7 days to arrive in the mail, and it is so easy to put together. If you go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors, you could see me assembling my all form sofa and then getting comfortable on it. It is such a positive experience, and now it's become a family hub. You know, Sophia and I are watching YouTube, or we're watching movies together, having some popcorn, snuggling up, playing board games on the ottoman, and even taking a snooze on the weekends. And I know you're saying to yourself, well, I'm not so sure about getting a sofa without trying it in a store. No worries with that either. You get 100 days to decide if you want to keep it. So that's more than 3 months. And if you don't love it, they'll pick it up for you, give you a full refund. And they even offer a forever warranty, literally forever. This thing is so well made. So it's time. You've heard enough about my sofa. It's time to start thinking about what color would you make your sofa? Would you put a chase lounge on there? Are you going to have it be an L shape or just a sofa? Or maybe just start with the love seat. To find your perfect sofa, check out allform.com/sleep. That's ALLFORM.com/sleep. And Allform is offering 20% off all orders for our listeners at allform.com/sleep. That's 20% off all orders at allform.com/sleep. And then share with me in your Instagram story. I want to see what you're getting. I want to see you putting it together. I want to see some of those popping colors in your home. Thanks, everybody. Sleep With Me is brought to you by Progressive, one of the country's leading providers of auto insurance. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you could say what kind of coverage you're looking for and how much you want to pay, and Progressive will help you find options that fit within your budget. Use the Name Your Price tool and start an online quote today at Progressive.com. Price and coverage match limited by state law. All right, everybody, it's Scoots here, and we're talking about season one. I forgot what I was recording. So this is our new episodically modular series, or somewhat new. Actually, if it's new to you, this could be the first episode you listen to, and you'll be fine, because we're going to catch you up on everything. The characters are. And this is our ongoing episodically modular series. It's called Journey into the Land Tomorrow. And somewhere in another time, somewhere, I guess, possibly in our future, there's a group of friends playing a Dungeons and Dragons module, maybe after the existence, so based on the rules of D&D 5th edition, they're playing a module or a game called Journey into the Land of Tomorrow. And by the power of the fan fiction fantasy machine, I've just been able to get, even though this audio doesn't exist in our world, in their world it does. Now, Doc Brown and the physicists and the anthropologists all said, don't do it, Scoots. And I said, it's to put people to sleep, so I got to. And I said, it's fiction. It's all imagination based on the rules of D&D 5e. So if you're not familiar with that game or anything that I'm talking about, don't worry. This will be, and I've already gotten a lot of feedback. This is going to be so sleepy. You could sleep right through it. But I promise you that there's good characters that you barely need to listen to. Familiar. They're going to be in a place that may be familiar to some of you, whether you've been listening to the podcast for a week or your whole life. So without further ado, our Hollywood announcer just arrived via Zoom. I forgot I was not saying that he was arriving because before this I didn't say he's coming by Zoom because, the magic of all radio or whatever. Plus it's, we actually I have him put up. Well, anyway, I don't want to get into it. but he has an electric Uber driver that drives up his Zoom. So he still goes on the drive from LA here. He's just sitting at his desk at home, but it's electric, so it's not wasteful. Someone's actually getting a great wage to do this. Thanks to Antonio Banderas. As the ladies, as a gentleman, as a boys, a girls, a friends beyond the binary. Scooter gave you a peek behind our curtain. But take a peek behind this curtain because it's time for a journey into the land of tomorrow. Rolling your dice. Good night. Yeah. Thanks, Antonio. Did you know that some of the listeners gave me a blanket with you from your Oscar-nominated role? I did. I saw you wrapped in my visage. Yeah, I was loving that. Did you see me when I twirled? Oh, no, but maybe you could twirl for me later. Maybe. All right, that's Antonio Banderas, and this is Journey into the Land of Tomorrow. All right, everybody. Hey, it's me, the DM, and we got to get caught up on, I think, Granada of Darmok. It's your turn to recap and do the placemaking for your party. Speaking of parties, so before we get started, man, I had a pretty mellow weekend. I know I guess I'm breaking character. I didn't know if anybody else did anything this weekend. I mean, I had something. Okay, anyway, Granada of Dark. I guess, yeah. Why don't you get started? Everybody's just looking at me. Thank you, my leader of the game. I'm Granada of Darmok. I know you asked me, what did we do this weekend? Well, it's Granada of Darmok. I'm known as a character in some parts of the realm. And, when I was sleeping last night as a character in the game, I was thinking, well, if I had a weekend where I lived in a world where I worked, I don't work 5 days a week because I am an entrepreneur, you would call it. Some might say I'm nimble of finger, but I am a member of a guild. I have a dues. Believe it or not, people say there's a thieves guild, and they say all this stuff. I say, well, I still have a paid membership. It is a trade and a professional association. Just because you don't view it as a professional doesn't mean that it hasn't been professionalized. But that is I, Granada of Darmok. I work for Lord Von Chill. He may call me his sidekick or his assistant, but I'm here to support his efforts to lead this party or co-lead it, depending on how you define that. Lord Von Chill hired me before this adventure. Lord Von Chill, a fighter of great renown, from a family of great renown, with hair that I don't think I've ever mentioned before. Could I say it's stunning? Because it is. Also because he wrote that down for me to say. Is Lord Von Chill, at Lord Von Chill's side in a role of a leader, but also who I would want to have at the head of our party is Zell, a fighter and a warrior from a much simpler background. Though that's not said with any passive-aggressive mentionings, just that as a contrast to Lord Von Chill, powerful, brave is Zell. Rounding out our party, we have our healer, our nurse, our Florentian nurse, Eleanor, who was just reunited with her goddesses, the three Florences, or reconnected with them. But don't say, just a nurse. Eleanor is also a critical component of, whether it's a battle at a distance or close up, someone I've come to rely on and trust, even though I haven't got to know Eleanor particularly well. Yeah, except for that birthday party. So sorry, that's if I was thinking of what we would do on the weekend, I'd say that our party maybe got together to blow off some steam. but we didn't because we are currently resting. But first I need to camp out the person from our party we really know the least about, a character that is not quite an NPC because they are a member of our party, represented by the dungeon, a little bit confusing, but our magic user, M. Wata, an acolyte, but powerful and reliable, though quiet and soft-spoken as well. M. Wata. And we, yes, as a group, we are a party of adventurers. We're here in the land of tomorrow, a land in a former theme park that years and years ago, when the before time became the next time, this park closed and sat empty for years and years and years. And we've been tasked on coming here because from what we understand, there's a source of powerful magic or a portal to another world of powerful magic somewhere hidden in this land. And it is our task to find that portal and to close it. And right now we're trying to find the components we need to close the portal. And we are in the happy halls underneath the land of tomorrow, utility corridors, and we're in the clinic sleeping. And we have the doors closed. We've healed and rested. We're all at full power. Also, we went through what we stocked. I'm just looking at my notes here. And we have 2 major kits or 3 major, I don't know, 3 major kits of med kits, 3 or 4 more basic ones, 5 first aid kits, and then 1 big time. So we have those to carry us through when Eleanor can't heal us or to supplement Eleanor's healing. We also have 1 piece of the staff we're supposed to assemble, and we know we need the staff part of it. We have the gem and then the headpiece that will hold the gem. The gem is pointing, well, we don't know where it's pointing exactly because we're underground. Technically, I guess, according to the lore of the theme park, we're on the first level. And above us, we have a sealed off from our end a door that we've listened at, or maybe we haven't, and maybe I'll do that now. And do we hear anything? You don't, as a DM yet. You didn't hear anything. Did you say that your characters had a party? Did you say that? No. We were resting. I mean, we partied when we had that dance. But are you asking as M. Wada? Because M. Wada was resting. M. Wada, I guess maybe if we did kind of party to celebrate Lord Von Chill's name day, it was M. Wada slept through it. So we did, I guess we had a little party, but we didn't want to wake M. Wada up. Oh. Okay. Wait, so, what did you do at the party? Well, I was going to listen at the door. We played a game. We danced. We had some ale and laughed a lot of laughter. Really bonded our characters together. So I guess we just didn't think... Well, did you invite him? Did you invite M. Wada before you to the party? Well, I don't know if the DM can ask those kind of questions. Okay, then I'm M. Wada. I'm wondering why you didn't invite me to the party. Well, it wasn't It wasn't planned out like that. It was more like spur of the moment after you were asleep, kind of thing. Well, what if I wasn't asleep? Did you ask me if I was awake? Oh, kind of indirectly, we said, let's not make too much noise and have too much fun and wake M. Wada up. But we should really listen at the door. But, like, you know what I mean? I'm sorry. I guess in what I'm sorry we didn't wake you up and invite you. It's just, here's the thing. We didn't think you wanted to go. You're very quiet and insular. And we kind of didn't, we like when we planned it out, we just kind of thought, we didn't plan it out. I mean, that's what I meant. How come no one else is involved? It's your thing, Granada. You take it. So thanks, El. So we just didn't think to invite you, wake you up because we didn't think you would want to go anyway. And then we were planning it. And then we said, there was never a moment where we said, don't invite Wada. Don't wake Wada up. I mean, we said that. And we did afterwards say, well, I feel kind of bad Wada missed out on this party. So that's why I'm saying I'm sorry. But we also said, well, Wada probably didn't want to go. Anyway, I don't mean to be a stickler, but I'm really, I'm fully at full health. So I really want to listen at this door, and I'm rolling my dice. And with my bonus, that's 16. Okay. Moving on then, I guess. 16, you don't hear anything. Okay, good party. This is Granada of Darmok. I think that I should open this door, and then we should kind of slowly proceed. What does everybody think? Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's proceed for sure. Okay, anybody? Okay, so I'm going to open the door. It has one of those air duct or whatever you call it, submarine type wheels on it. Okay, you're not strong enough. You didn't you didn't roll. You're not strong enough to open it. Okay, could I have some help from the stronger characters? Sure, Lord Von Chill here. I'm happy to help you, Granada of Darmok. Now, did we open the door? Keeping moving forward with this adventure. Sure, we'll just move right forward. You did open it, and it opens up. And then above that is a hole cover, which also will take some strength to lift up. Probably Lord Von Chillenzel. I'll just tell you since you want to move on so quickly. Okay, Zell, let's get this open just a little bit, maybe just a tiny crack at first, as quietly and as can we do it? Try to do it quietly. Okay, you successfully get it quietly open, just a crack. Okay, so we'll listen at it. Okay, you listen at it, you hear is like wind is whipping through, so you really can't hear anything other than the wind. Like a strong wind, or just the way the wind is going. Wind doesn't feel super strong, it just happens to be how the wind is going. Okay, so can Zell and I open it enough so that Granada of Darmok could just squeeze through to observe what's going on above us? Can we see anything? You could see blue sky and the sides of some buildings, but not much else. Okay, we'll open it more then. Okay, you open it enough for Granada of Darmok to go through. Okay, it's Granada of Darmok. I'm going to go through. First, I'm going to scout, with my head and see if there's anything, and then I'll look out, but with as much stealth as I can possibly achieve. Okay, so, wow, okay. Well, I didn't think you'd roll that high, but, so you easily use your stealth. You get your head out and your body out of the hole, but I don't know, somehow you really are stealthy, so you look around. The first thing you notice is that you're on the not the exact opposite side of the park you were already on, or the land. But, there's the main thoroughfare of the land of tomorrow. And on what would be considered the, I can't even, the left side of the park, the left side of the land, if you were walking into it, that was where the encounter, where you first started your adventure. But you're you're at the end of the building that had other things in it, from so you're on that side of the, you know what I mean? Well, yeah, DM, you're really having trouble. But yeah, I get what you mean. So if I look across the main thoroughfare, I could see the buildings for Buzz Tomorrow and Steam, Journey into Steam, the Steam Journey, or Steam World, Wonders of Steam or whatever. Yeah, if you look to your right, you see those buildings. Okay, and then if I scan the rest of the land, well, if you look further to the right, you see the entrance to the park, or the entrance to the land that you came in. And beyond that, you just see some overgrown brush and stuff. You can't see much in that further past the bridge into the journey of the land of tomorrow, into the land of tomorrow. You can't really see, like, you see, like, on your side is a boarded up, like the building is boarded up. It had windows. You see a sign that says, like, describing this, it's like a punny version of a store, Future Sundries or something. Then to your left, you see a couple of kiosks. The mountain of space, that's further along. I don't know. The kiosks are kind of in your way, so you can't, other than the mountain of space, seeing in that direction, you can't see anything. Then to your right is a big open plaza. And then further off behind that, you can see rising up what was going to be known as Progress Tower, which was a theme tower that was never completed. Okay. And anything else I'm seeing? You see kind of the infrastructure for like the kind of transit system, the fake transit system they had there, which was just more for entertainment and relaxation. Those tracks go above you and kind of through the land. And then suddenly, before you see it, you feel the earth start to shake, and you see then crossing the open plaza that you had looked at before, one of the steam giants, but it looks even bigger than you remember it. And it has a top hat and glowing steam eyes, and it's definitely seems like it's patrolling. Okay, well, I'm going to go back down and hide then. I'm observed for as long as safe and then hide. All right, yeah, you just observe, and it just seems to be like you're able to observe it without being seen, and you see that it's patrolling the plaza on a somewhat consistent back and forth basis. Oh boy! So I tell everybody in my party about that. That's not good. Where's the gem, Wada? Yeah, I have it. Okay, could I use it, or could you go up and then keep an eye out for that steam giant? But could you see where it's pointing? Because I don't think we discussed that. Sure, you could go up there and use it to kind of, it'll just light up more and more and like glow like a heartbeat when it's pointed in the right direction. Okay, so I'll do that with as much stealth as I can. First, making sure that the distance of the steps of the steam giant are getting less instead of more. Okay, so you go up, you wait a little while it feels like the steam giant's walking away. You go up, you just see the steam giant's head disappear as it goes off to the left behind some of the kiosks because of your viewing angle. And then you use the gem, and it seems to be pointing, as it grows, it's pulsating, is at its highest and strongest point when it's pointed towards the Progress Tower. Okay, I'm going to go down and, but I think we need to make a quick decision since we got this cover open. So what does everybody think? Okay, I think we need to head to, I think we need to head to Progress Tower. Does anybody know anything about Progress Tower? What do we know as a party? Or do we have any materials about Progress Tower? Is it, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, DM, but can we see who has like a history? Let's do a history roll, and then if we have anything on us, okay, you have the map. So the map shows coming soon, Progress Tower, and it was supposed to open, parts of it were supposed to open pretty soon. Including a spinner attraction and a swing-based attraction, and then a hydrolator type like a fake elevator type attraction. Okay, do we need to know anything more from history? Is it like Mwada? Can you roll for history? Yeah, I can. Okay. So, yeah, what I know is that Progress Tower is a combination of two visions of the future. The original creators behind the theme park had something called the Carousel of Progress, which was open for a long time. But they also had this vision for some sort of progress city. And they also had a need for more attractions in this land. And they also wanted to get this idea of hotels within the theme park. And like some sort of ultra modern version of the future that was more based on reality. And so what they decided to do was this thing called progress. They were just calling it Progress Tower. So a Progress Tower was going to be, was like an actual tower that had a hotel within the theme park, or they had theme park access and theme park views. And they had kind of they have two other more modern, semi-modern buildings, a little bit off a ways. They were called contemporary. So they built it so it wouldn't block the firework views for those two buildings. But within the Progress Tower, not only was it going to have a hotel, but it was going to have 3 attractions as well as a queue built into the tower. So they were built on top of one another within the tower alongside the hotel, not only for space, but for drama. So partially up the ways was like a spinner ride. Like the most famous one was like the Elephant of Fun, where you do, for kids, you just sit in it and it goes in a circle. And they were going to have 2 of those that ran independently just to service more people an hour on what would be like the 4th or 5th floor of the hotel. And also, if you were checking into the hotel, you would just get access to these rides, which was pretty cool. But so that ride was there, and it was just cool because there's a lot of the hotel part was not completed. But so that was there. Then a few flights above that was like an outdoor swing ride, and it was the largest outdoor swing ride ever constructed. First time something like this was built as a part of a tower around a central column. And like a kind of swing ride you'd go on an old-fashioned theme park, like swings were on a chain and everything, but it just fit a lot more people. And it had this way of like going up so you could load one group of people. I don't know. This was like in the process of getting completed. Then above that, but also on the base of it, was this like elevator drop attraction that was to be opened. They didn't reveal a lot of it, but they had another elevator drop attraction, and this was supposed to be like way more fun, and that was already fun. So people were like, well, that'll be interesting, I guess. Will it take away from the other attraction? No one knew because it hadn't opened. But that went all the way up to the top. And then, of course, there was going to be, stuff at the top for the hotel. Okay. That's a lot of information. Thanks, Wada. So okay, so we have to get over there. But the steam giants searching or patrolling. This is Eleanor. What if could we sneak up and get onto the transit thing? Those tracks, is there a way for us to get up there without being seen, but and use that as cover. Because I remember looking at that and saying, well, that looks like something. I remember looking at it from the other side of like something could be up there keeping an eye on us because it has a roof. I mean, it's open on the sides, but it looks like it had a lip where we could could we crawl along the track without being seen by the steam giant. I like that plan. I think we should try that. Okay. So what is your plan exactly? Okay, I think this should be the plan because I'm nimble and quick. I think we should break up into 2 groups. Me by myself. I will go out. I will wait. It seems like I'll try to do is observe the steam giant and I'll relay that to you. Then when I see a steam giant walking away, I'm going to run. I'm going to use, I have a rope and a grappling hook. If I don't see a ladder, I'm going to try to climb up there and do it as quietly as I can and as fast as I can. And then I will give a sign back to all of you because I'll try to find a place where you could see me if I'm successful. If I'm not successful, I think this steam giant is probably... Like, we should probably play that by ear, but maybe just keep going on the mission. And I'll try to run. I won't try to engage the steam giant, even if it sees me. But I also will run away from Progress Tower. You should proceed. Okay, that'll be back. But if the steam giant sees me, I'll create a distraction. And all of you head to Progress Tower. And I'll try to get my way back there. Okay, that sounds like a good plan to me. You're very brave, Granada of Dormach. Okay, so can we do that, DM? So yeah, it seems like you're really able to plan stuff out ahead of time, sometimes as a group, but sometimes you just have spur-of-the-moment stuff, huh? I don't understand. Never mind. So... You observe the steam giant. The steam giant is moving in a regular patrol pattern. So when the steam giant starts to walk away, you've already estimated the time you have, which is actually a decent amount of time. You run over to the nearest part, which is it's not very far because it runs down the middle of the thoroughfare. You throw your grappling hook. You're able to climb up. Wow, you really get good rolls, too. You can climb up no problem. Also, you notice 2 stanchions down, actually even further out of the way, maybe even totally out of view of the steam giant, is a ladder, a service ladder. Doesn't go all the way down, so you maybe need to use your grappling hook there for your team. Okay, so I'll do that, and I'll assign to my team, the rest of my squad, and I guess I can't, so I've signed to you where I am and how to get there. Okay, we'll try to sneak down there. It sounds like we have even better chance. We'll wait until the best time to go, and then we'll proceed. Okay, you proceed. Mwada does stumble, but the steam giant's moving so slowly that you still manage to get there, climb up the rope, climb up the ladder, and now you're pretty much hidden from the steam giant if you crawl. And from where you are, the transit separates to a left and a right track, and the right track heads towards Progress Tower, but into some kind of darkness a little bit, because you already know from the history that this transit used to kind of circle through, and it would circle around the old carousel of Progress, but now it was going to have a view of the lobby and the spinner ride, and also be a part of another showpiece for the hotel, just something cool to look at. But it was a way to sell people on the hotel, even though it's really expensive. Okay, but so we'll crawl towards the darkness, as stealthily as we can and head in that direction. As you proceed, you notice there's something about the darkness that I guess Mwada would say it. There's something about that darkness that it makes me want to roll the dice, and I don't know, that darkness is magical. I can tell you that from here. Oh, thank you, Mwada, for letting us know that. And can we just do a gem check of where in the progress tower the thing might be? Yeah, I'm checking the gem now, and it is towards the top of the tower. Oh, great. And I suppose we'll have to go into the tower, I guess, to find our way to the top. So it's a magical darkness. Wada, do you have anything other way to determine anything else? I can tell you that it's a powerful spell, and I sense something else, but I'm not exactly sure. That's more based on my intuition roll, that there's something there right at the edge of right inside the darkness, but something that's like my intuition's not sure how to feel about it. It feels interested. Okay, interesting. So we have magical darkness. We have a steam giant patrolling. We have the gem telling us we need to go to the top of Progress Tower. Anyone have any ideas? Yeah, this is Zell. I think we should get closer. We should decide who's best to investigate what Mwada is sensing on the edge of the magical darkness. So, like, who has the most charisma? I think that's you. Zell. Why don't you and Wada go? And I'll go with you since the three of us go. What if we just maybe I should go by myself. I'm seeing my intuition that's a good roll. And I'll go by myself because it just in case, but stay close. Okay. So your intuition was right, Sal, to go by yourself, and you get closer to the magical darkness. You can't see anything, but you could definitely sense there's something or someone there by your intuition, watching. Okay, so I say, hey, I know you're there watching us, wondering if we're like, what we're doing here. I'm just curious about, you seem to be shrouded in some sort of magical darkness. I don't know why you're putting the darkness that way. And I don't know if maybe you're hiding from that steam giant, but if you crouch down like us or you're small like us, it can't see you because of the angle of the roof or the canopy of this. And we're really only here looking for something. Maybe you could help us, or maybe we could help you. Okay, due to your charisma, you start to hear some sort of like kind of mechanical and, noises that you're already familiar with. And you see two characters crawl out of the darkness, and they crawling like you instructed. And their dress are both kind of like look like humans, human animatronics, and they come towards you, and and they're headed towards you in a slow, deliberate way, crawling to stay out of the view of the steam giant. Okay, why doesn't everybody move closer just in case? Hi, I'm Zell. I'm here. I'm looking for something that I think is on the roof of this tower. Do you live in this tower? Were you part of this tower? Yeah, hi. We're aunt and uncle, And yeah, we used to, you don't, do you really want to go in there? Well, you might know something that I don't, but I don't know if I have a choice to go in there. I'm in a party. I'm with a party of adventurers. Those are my friends behind me, and yeah, we're trying to go in there to find something that we think is on the roof or up top of the tower. Is there a way to get up there? Yeah, there's a way to get up there, but I don't know. We left because we didn't. We were always like the aunt and uncle. We were always a joke when it was. So once upon a time, we used to be a part of a rotating theater show, and we were both part of the humor relief. And as things changed and we went from passive to active, we stayed on those roles. And as the mothers and fathers and the grandparents and the kids, they were more the stars of the show. They still kind of acted like we were punchlines, the two of us. So we left, and then I don't know, we would listen, and they were always saying that someone was going to come to take a part of this magical rod or something. That's what gave them the magic power. It's our parents, to be honest with you. And that's when they put the darkness spell on. But the good thing about the darkness spell is that giant can't see us. That giant started walking around. But we just live up here. Okay, could you tell us where that magical rod is? Does that sound like what we're looking for? It could be. Where's the magical rod? Well, the magical rod's up on the parents have it. The grandparents, my parents, they have it up on the roof. It's like a rod for when the sky makes lights at night during the rain. That's when the rod has the most power. Oh, so it's a lightning rod. Okay. Could a lightning rod be a staff that we're looking for, Zell? I think you wanted to ask me, Mwada, but yeah, it could be. So, Mwada here, I just had a question for the aunt and uncle. So you were a part of a family unit, kind of like being a part of a group, but you weren't respected by the other members of that group, it sounds like, that they didn't really respect you. Exactly. Wow, that must have been tough. It was so tough. We said, we're not going to live in this tower, because they said we could live anywhere in the tower we want. And the kids and the dogs decided to live together. And the mothers and fathers some of the dogs live with the mother and father. And then the grandparents, they said, we'll keep this tower protected if you keep it clean. But they always wanted to ask me if I was going to go in the bathtub and stuff like that. So, yeah, we didn't like it anymore. And, yeah, it was a family group that we felt like we were a part of. Well, we never felt like we were a part of it. We always felt like outsiders. You know how that feels, Wada? I do know how it feels. Like you thought you were a part of the group, but then you realized you were an outsider. Yeah, that's okay. Sorry, this is Granada here. It sounds like we need to focus our conversation on the present moment and not the past, whether it's recent or distant past. So here's the thing. We need to get to the top. Could you tell us how to get in there or what's waiting for us? And, if there's some sort of quid pro quo, let me know. This is Zell. I just want to say, Granada, you're doing a really good job of leading the party today. Well, thank you, Zell. I appreciate that. But go ahead, Uncle. Yeah, there is. So we would make a deal with you. If you can get the ride back working, we'd love to ride the ride. I guess the steam giant might chase us, but I don't think the steam giant could catch us if we were riding. If you could get this ride going, that would give us something to do because we're operational. Or if you could just clear out the Tower of Progress because of all the people that weren't nice to us. Okay, well, it's all darkness. How would we find our way to get to the top of the tower? Have you been to the top of the tower? We have before we left. So we were originally part of the queue, and then that was when we were passive because they took the old theater ride and made it part of the queue show. Different generations of our family at different time periods in history. And then after you went through, like, that was for the whole queue as you split up, and then you went into split up into different rides. Because there was always a line. I don't know, it was just a way to, like, anyway, because then people could go on all the rides if they wanted. But so it was kind of like a pre-show type thing. And then the grandparents, they wanted, like, they found the rod of power or whatever. But so, yeah, recently they made this darkness, but you could go in if you just stay against the wall on the left side, like where we live. You go past where we were sitting around, and if you keep going, eventually you're going to find a door. And if you open that door, then you'll go through a hall, and there'll be some stairs and then a door. Don't go through the door, but when you're facing the door, go left, right, and then you'll go down another hall, and then you'll run into a set of double doors. And then you go through those double doors. Oh, wait, I guess I mixed up. I think you got to go up like 3 or 4 flights of stairs, not just one set of stairs. But, yeah, once you go up the stairs, then there's a door. Don't go through the door at the top of the stairs. Go down the hall through that door. What would happen if we go through the doors at the door at the top of the stairs? I think it's just there's no, I don't know, nothing. There's nothing there. But if you do that, if you go through the double doors, on the other side of the double doors is where all the kids are. And that's where that spinner ride is. And I'll tell you that the kids are going to be waiting for you to deal with you all. Okay, this is Granada. I really need to get in some. This has been I know we're getting close to our time as our adventure for the week's gone. And I feel like we've gotten sidetracked a little bit. So I think we should follow. I just want to trust my gut. Everybody, we should follow. And we should just try to get up where those kids are. But they're animatronic kids that are probably going to be against us. Is that what you're saying, Uncle? Hey, that's what I am saying. Is there anything else? So is the ride functional, or is there... So the magical darkness doesn't extend out past, so the spinners, like the little ships you could go in, those are outside of the darkness of the ride. Okay, so they would, does anybody have any brainstorm? Okay, so if it's what I'm picturing, maybe we could climb out onto the attraction. Do the kids, so it's like the sons and the daughters from the shows, do they have, if they were going to try to stop us or get in our way, do they have anything that they could use at a distance? No, they don't. You just, if they get a hold, if they give you a hug or something, they would kiss and hug you, you know what I mean? But they don't have anything, no. Okay, so this is Zell. If we can get out on the attraction, out of the magical darkness, then we could get them out there, and we could just use our distance, and we would, does that sound doable? It sounds doable to me, Eleanor. Would it be DM? Okay, so you want to follow the path that this character has told you. Then when you go through the double doors, try to get to the outside, to outside of the magical darkness, then use your distance to advantage against if these kids from the ride, animatronic, fake child age animatronics are going to come try to hug and kiss you with an agenda. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. So you go through the darkness. You're going through the magical darkness, but it's you proceed just like the character said. Yeah, proceed out. Go through the double doors. Oh, wait. Before we go through the double doors, should we come up with a distraction? Like, Zell, is there any way, or Wada, is there any way to find the edge of the magical darkness and head in the right direction, or should we distract them? Like, can we pause at the doors and then come up with a plan? Okay. So, yeah, we'll pause. This is Mwada. We pause at the doors. I don't know what spell I could maybe detect magic. And then I guess I kind of, since I'm the DM, this is kind of a tough. Okay, I'm going to use detect magic. And yeah, I can tell that when we open the doors, it's about 300 feet off to the right. That we need to get to. Okay. This is Granada, but can we listen in the room? Yeah, you hear like teenage voices and middle school age voices, kids arguing and playing games. Okay, this is Granada. I have an idea. So it's to the right 300 yards. I'm really good at keeping my sense of place. And this was an idea we already floated. We go into the room as quietly as we can. All of you head to the right, out of the magical darkness. I will play a game called Hello Find Me, which was a game we used to play in Darmok. Very fun game. We played in the water particularly. And everyone would close their eyes except for the Hello Find Me person. I don't know if these characters can see in the magical darkness, but the uncle and the aunt could not. Maybe, I think we forgot to ask them. But so let's assume the kids can't see in the magical darkness, which doesn't make any sense, but maybe it makes sense. And I'll try to create a distraction until you can get out of the magical darkness. Then, as soon as you do that, all of you start saying, hello, find me. That's when I'll know to go silent and to try to get to you as stealthily as I can. Now, if the kids in if they can see, then I'll just need you. Well, then we got to get them out. Otherwise, we won't be able to see them unless Wada could counter the spell somehow. Yeah, I can't counter the spell. It's a powerful one. Okay, so does that sound like a plan? It does sound like a plan. This is Zell. Can I just say, so we will all go into action, but Wada, can you use that thunder wave too? Yeah, I can use that. And listen, Wada, I'm sorry we didn't wake you up. We really didn't think you wanted to go to the we didn't uninvite you to the party. We just didn't think you had any interest at all in going, so then we didn't factor it in. So I'm sorry. We didn't wake you up for the party we had in the clinic. That's fine. Okay, let's do our plan, though, because we almost have to go. Everybody's got to go home in a little while. Okay, so you head through the doors. The doors do creak as you open them, and you hear the kids and the things hear that, and they have, just so you know, they have excellent hearing. So then everyone rushes off to the right to try to get out of the magical darkness as Darmok says, hello, find me. Very loud, I say it, to cover the tracks. So Darmok, okay, and then I'm just going to roll for initiative for everybody. It's the Janies and the Jaces. So there's Janie, there's 3 of each, and they all have 2 things, like the uncle said, like a hug and a kiss. So the overall initiative for this whole thing is going to be Janie, Jace. So Janie 1, Janie 2, Jace 1, Granada, Wada, Zell, Janie 3, Jace 2, Jace 3, Eleanor, and LVC. And that kind of happens as everybody's running. Janie 1 and 2 do manage to hug you, Granada. And Jace, Jace does not manage to kiss you. Is that right? Yeah. So you manage to get out of their embraces, but it comes at a cost of 8 and 7. Okay, well, on my turn, then I'm next in the initiative. I'd go back against, and we'll just do them in order, everybody, even though we didn't establish that. I'll go after Janie 1, even though it's I can't see. Okay, you successfully do that. 8 plus 5. Is that right? Yeah. Oh, I'm going to use my second. You're right. Can I use a sneak during that? You can. Yeah, so 8 plus 5. Plus 5 more. Or no, okay, so yeah, you do that successfully. Okay, and then I'm going to, how have they gotten to the, now they're saying, hey, come and find me. Also, Wada's about to do Thunderwave, so you probably want to, okay, so I'll run to the right as far as I can. Okay, then Wada does Thunder, and let's see, it goes, where do we got it? Janie 1, 8, Janie 2, 8, Jace 8, 4, 4, 4. Okay, so half 8, half 4. Great. Then Zell, Zell rolled a 20. Also, Granada, between the Thunderwave and Granada, Janie 1 is gone. And then Zell rolled a 20, so with the longbow, that's Janie 2 is now gone. Now, Janie 3 does manage, actually, so you all climbed up on the things, but they're already out of the dark. So you're on these, spinner rockets, plastic rockets, but they're not that low. They're low enough that you have a slight advantage, but not that much of an advantage. So Janie 1 actually gets in a swingy poo on Zell 18. Let's see. Jace 2 and 3, they didn't manage to do anything. Eleanor 2, LVC, you get a 19, and that's enough with your jab to take out James 1. Okay, then we got, so next up, first round is Granada. What are you doing, Granada? Okay, I'm going to get into whoever's going after Zell. Oh, no, they're gone, huh? Jace 2, I guess. Is that who's up next? Or what about Jane 3? Okay, which one? Whoever's Janie 3, because that's who's next on the list. Okay, so you successfully, 17. So you successfully, that's it for Janie 3. So what do we have left? Two of the Jaces, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do another Thunderwave just because this is already, okay, successful. And then Zell, you go, and who are you going after? Whoever's next, one of the 2 Jace 2. Okay, you successfully take out Jace 2. Jace 2 does not manage, and Jace 3 do not manage to get anything in. Eleanor 4, Lord Von Chill 1. Okay, next round. Granada 5. Watt, are you going to do another spell? No. I'll do, just like, I don't have any. Could I lean in and can I jump down and help Granada? Okay, you can. Okay, you successfully, I lost track of my own notes, but J3 is all that's left. Is that right? Okay, J3's in a bit of trouble, but does manage to get another thing in on Granada. So Granada's really low. And then Eleanor 20. So that's it, Eleanor. So you're fine. Everything's fine except, let me see. So all of them are taken out. And Wada used 3 spells. Granada's down to 4. And Zell, you're down 5. Okay, this is Eleanor. I'm going to use one of the what are those? The second tier, because what are you missing? I'm going to use one of the major health kits on Granada, because that's 4d4. So that should put you right back where you were, right? Yeah, so that's almost at full health. That restores 4d4, 8 plus 4, 12 hit points. Yeah. And then let me use a first aid kit on Zell. That's just like 4 plus 1, right? So 3, is that right? But can I roll? Oh, yeah, go ahead. Oh, you did get a 4. So 5 for Zell. So Zell's back. Yeah, so you've cleared out the kids. You're out of the magical darkness. Though to proceed, you would have to figure out where you're proceeding. But I guess we do have to break. I do have to. So why don't you all just rest in your little rockets? Well, you can't have a full rest. You could have a short rest. And we'll reunite together again soon. Good night. All right, I want to thank everybody that became a patron recently. Natalie, Dennis, and Sienna Rose. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Jim, Gabrielle, and Agrippa. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Danya, Andrew, and Melissa. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Jonathan, Ronnie, and Natalia. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Paula, Julie, and Sonia. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Dana, Tanner, and Eric. Thanks. Good night. Tara, Lisa, and Quentin. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Ariel, Erica, and Donna. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Amy, Michelle, and Dion. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Marie, Sarah, and Ryan. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Lauren, Kay, and Meg. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Kathy, Garrett, and Lauren. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Joanne, Gemma, and Tammy. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Maggie, Lisa, and Hannah. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Kayla, Miranda, and Liz. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Laura, just barely, and Leah. Thank you, thanks. Good night. Benjamin and Dan. Thank you, thanks. Good night. And Sophie and Alana. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Sleep With Me exists a free podcast because the people that support the show directly on Patreon or support our sponsors, and then we grow as a show by people just naturally spreading the word. That's a free way to help the show. I really appreciate it. You could also sign up for our referral program, which I'll probably talk about here in a second. It's sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. But you can even just show people about podcasts, and that'll help Sleep With Me eventually. And it'll really help the person you're showing. So thanks, everybody, and good night. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, BetterHelp. If you're having trouble meeting your goals right now, difficulty relationships, trouble sleeping, or if you're feeling stressed or depressed, BetterHelp is available. BetterHelp offers online professional counselors who can listen and help. And I've talked about this a lot on the podcast, is that I've had a lot of struggles throughout my lifetime with mental health and with self-medication and stuff. And working with professional licensed therapists has given me the tools to function and flourish in my life. And that's one of the things I'm so grateful for is the relationship I have with my therapist, someone I can talk to who can listen and help me. And with BetterHelp, you simply fill out a questionnaire to assess your needs, and BetterHelp will match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. And this isn't self-help or a crisis line. This is secure online professional counseling. BetterHelp counselors have a broad range of expertise which may not be available in your area. Their service is available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send unlimited messages to your counselor. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions, and everything you share is confidential. You don't have to worry about going to the office or sitting in a waiting room. And BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so it's easy and free to change counselors if needed, so you can find someone you're comfortable talking to and working with. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. And this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Sleep With Me listeners can get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/sleepwithme. So visit BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/sleepwithme, and you can join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced BetterHelp professional. Thanks, everybody. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots here. Before you drift off, don't forget some really easy ways to support the show is our referral program. We're always running cool stuff. You get a free personalized video. SleepWithMePodcast.com/refer, REFER. You get rewarded just for sharing the podcast with people in your life. We got our custom sleep phones at SleepWithMePodcast.com/sleep-phones. And you can always check everything else out or get a hold of me through our website, SleepWithMePodcast.com. Check out our sponsors, check out other stuff. Thanks so much. You want me to, how do you feel about this window? You want me to adjust the window, or you want me to close that shade just a little bit? Yeah, there you go. All right. Good work there. Good night.